Hey guys, I was just out playing with Luna, and as I was staring at the moon, I had heard Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto working all three with Luna, and kind of working with all four of those energies, and to do a reading called "The Brightest of Lights and the Darkest of Days." So I'm gonna be using I've got a combo of things here. I'm going to be starting off with Kim Cran's archetype deck, just to bring forward kind of the energies of this message, because it seems like it's a little story that wants to be told, whether it's a personal or collective message. Sometimes it's personal, but it might resonate with people, so please always use your discernment. Welcome in, welcome back to you. We had to pass through a little burp before the moon came out, and now that the moon's out, it's like, oh, can breathe, can just take a moment to breathe. So I want to take a moment to just thank my higher self, thank my ascension teams, thank my guardians of light, thank you to my ancestors, thank you to the planets, thank you to Gaia. And let's see what the cards want to reveal to us about this story that's coming up right now. And it seemed really cool to hear it. I was like, oh, like I'd love to do a reading like that. Perfect. Oh man. Oi. The orphan. The orphan. The one that was lost. The one that was lost. The one that was lost. Let me go ahead and read about the orphan in the book. Do I have? Oh, I do have the book right here. I have a feeling this is gonna be a personal reading, but for myself, because this is usually what happens. But please, if it resonates with you, take it. But we're gonna go in talking about the orphan. Let's see, page 71. I'm hearing Lost Boy. I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet, children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card, as it haunts the caverns of the soul when it appears. Take time, real time, to be in the presence of the feelings this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. And when in light, deep solace, deep acceptance, deep love. When dark, distance, hates and avoids, controlling and limiting. And this very much so is interesting, because it really is a transformation of the child, and where we have neglected ourselves as a result of others, where we have neglected our youthful innocence as a result of others. And I feel like this is what's coming up, is that we have been abandoned by society. The feeling of being abandoned by our own governments, the feeling of being taken advantage of, neglected, right? This core wound is very much so hitting very hard right now. And what's useful about this is that this is what begins to invite in purpose in our own lives. So when we neglect, judge, or resist that which we truly are and that which we truly know, we become defensive. We start to almost euthanize our own gifts, strengths, and abilities. The orphan right now is also speaking through about that which we know and don't honor and give power to others to give us the truth regarding, is what creates the gaslighting within our own lives. And I feel like that's very much so a punishing energy that's coming through, is we feel one thing yet we hear another on the main stage, right? And then there's so much of this right now that requires really deep forgiveness on our part as the transformation comes through. It's interesting because we have this lost boy, the one that was neglected by family, neglected by others, who's just longing for love, longing for care, longing for acceptance, who just needs a shoulder to cry on, or just needs someone to tell him that everything's okay. And like, it's like this to me, I'm feeling very much so in the male collective, right? The one who has been controlled, manipulated, destroyed, distorted, the one who's been told that he's not enough, he's not good enough. This, please, even though I'm speaking on a male energetic here, if you are a woman, please replace that. Because I don't want to leave anyone out here. We're not here to leave anyone out. But it's interesting how much this transformation is around this card right now. It's almost like the snake here, the bite of the snake, right? Very much so Plutonic energy with Pluto, is that the snake or the serpent is coming through to allow the child to rest and to come through and to feel fully what it needs to feel, to honor and to not be neglected. And it's like the way it's reaching out for this flower, it's just reaching out for beauty. That's what it is. The cries that are going on right now, the stubborn that are neglecting their wounds and are neglecting their own child, are just reaching out for a little bit of beauty. I feel like we all need that. And this is interesting how it's the brightest light in the darkest of days. Two of Swords. And the way that it came out right here is like, this child is reaching for the sun. This child is reaching for the sun. But as a result, this is caught in between two worlds. The push, pull, tear. Right? And I almost want to say push, pull, terror. Like, this is, right now too, as I'm hearing it, this is no time to admit defeat. This is a time for us to all stand together and to rise up. Continually rise up through the death and rebirth process. But it seems like right now too, oh, there we go, Ace of Cups coming through. Beautiful. It's a time for us to fill up with our own emotional truth and emotional well-being. I see this cup right now. So it's interesting how we have the snake here and we have the scales here. See, we have the snake and then we have the scales. It's like this snake right now, dear ones, is gifting ourselves to be in the child and to fill up with this nurturing care. Nurturing care. The Ace of Cups is speaking of a new beginning, of course, too. And that we must hold on, but we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision, okay? So I want to see, what is this decision? I have a feeling and already a sense, but I want to see, what is this decision? Let's go to the Radiant Rider. Wait, I'm going to use multiple decks here because I feel like this story needs other layers of depth. Okay, so what is this decision we have to make to invite in this new emotional well-being? Whoop. Okay, cool. The Star, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups in reverse, Page of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. What we have to do is heal the wounds of beginning, the wounds of new beginnings that didn't work out for ourselves. Ace of Swords and Ace of Cups. It's like everywhere that we neglected certain pathways on our journey, it's time to heal that. And this Page of Pentacles to me is feeling like an offering. It feels like an offering to let go of the heartache. like the overall energies of this choice point is what we do is we have to heal the past. And we have to give up. We have to give up. What do we have to give? What is this offering though? Because this pentacle, it's like one part of it is the Nine of Swords. Like that's almost what it is. It's almost like we got to take we have to take our losses and give it away. This is giving up the pain of yesterday. We have to give up our sorrow. We have to give up the overthinking too. We have to give up overthinking. But you know, this one's difficult. For being someone who's very thought-oriented, I'll say this. Overthinking is very common. And it's interesting because the way that I escaped thought was through substances. Right? And I can't do that. So then it's like, people say, oh, just do breath work and things like that. But sometimes when things get really, really, really noisy, it's tough. There are things like magnesium that help with this. But I feel like it's almost like we have to let go of grief and sorrow. Like we have to just keep fully feeling, because that's what this transformative energy is bringing forward right now for the child. It's for the child to grieve and to mourn, right? And how do we create that safe space for our own child to grieve and mourn? Especially if you have your own children, especially if you're a parent or a guardian, or you don't know how to create that safe space for yourself. This is almost like another level of Chiron coming through. It's another level of Chiron coming through. Right. The Chariot and the Star. The Star came up again. The Chariot. The Chariot is speaking of an arrival, and the Star is speaking of healing. But there's something more coming from this. This is almost like, to me, the gift of freedom. The gift of here we go. The gift of us choosing our freedom above all else right now. Being free in our choice, being sovereign in ourselves. Being free to be ourselves authentically is what is going to light up these dark days. So remember, the beginning of the reading was talking about the brightest of lights and the darkest of days. So what ignites our light right now and is going to bring this new beginning? It's almost like a wish fulfillment energy. It's about embodying our freedom fully. Our freedom to be expressive, our freedom to be youthful. I'm even hearing this, our freedom to be ignorant, right? Freedom of choice. Like, this is very much so coming through as liberation now. Right when I saw it, I was like, boom, it clicked on. This is the codes of liberation that are coming through right now. Interesting, because I have been resisting Saturn because there's been a lot of control stuff coming up. And when I went and sat with Luna and I was connecting to Luna, I only connected to Luna and Jupiter, and I heard, connect to Saturn. I was like, no. And it's like this version of Saturn that I'm connecting to is actually bringing through liberation right now. Huh. You know, and it's funny because there's this thing where I talk about the higher aspects of certain planets and planetary bodies and star systems. That's a lot of cards. Different planetary bodies and different star systems. This is why I say that, because the lower form of Chronos is control, is control, is time, things like that. But I feel like with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto together, working with Luna, there's liberation here. Liberation and healing this child through the frequencies of liberation. So this is a lot more cards, but let's see here where it goes. Mother of Cups. This is to me about emotional expression, freedom to reduce logic and come back into the stasis, the stage, remove the word stasis, thank you, the stage of feeling. And this to me is speaking of emotional expression, but also fertility. And a part of that is allowing our emotions to be what they are and allowing ourselves to express our emotions to others. I am feeling scared. I am feeling lost. I am feeling hopeful. I'm feeling desirable. I feel like I'm lacking boundaries in my own life, right? And I feel like that's what a big part of this liberation is for all of us right now, is freedom to express ourselves fully, to express what we're feeling in a way that's constructive. That's kind of what this energy is bringing forward. And I feel like that's what's going to light up these dark days for ourselves, is A, feeling fully, but being able to express what we're feeling. That's very much so Luna with the Aquarian energy is the new way we express, the new way we create. And I feel like a part of that is how we express our feelings through our creations, whether it's through music, it's through magic, right? I feel like there's a level of vulnerability that wants to come forward from our own children right now regarding what that is. Daughter of Cups. Daughter of Cups. Daughter of Cups. Seeing your shadow as a rainbow. Seeing your shadow as a rainbow. I've never seen this. Wow, this is really powerful. I'm so glad I hopped into this reading. Beautiful. Because look at this star card. It's lighting up our shadow. And it's actually letting us know that our shadow is a rainbow. Stare into the reflection of you and what do you see? And I feel like that's what's happening right now. And the energy that's coming forward that's going to help us to illuminate through this whole rise of toxic masculinity and the fall of a civilization is being able to finally stare in our own reflection and to see beauty. To see the star that you are. To see the star that you are. And it's interesting because the Mother of Cups here, this emotional expression is what brings all these stars together into one gigantic star. It's almost like a merger of the cosmos coming together to meet at this point to help us to see our own reflection, that we are a star, that we are beautiful, that we are vibrant light, and that our reflection, as we stand still and stare at it, will always reflect what our perception is. And I feel like right now it's a moment to see our own shadow as gold. To see our own shadow as gold. Okay, I'm here and do everything in this reading right side up because I get confused sometimes with reversals. So, my universe knows me good enough. Daughter of Pentacles, right? Daughter of Pentacles, another rainbow here. This to me is coming back again. Let's see. This is very much so speaking of a Wizard of Oz energy to me. Yeah. Man. The Daughter of Pentacles. As well is it's almost like, where was it? This Page of Pentacles. That's that pentacle, the grief of the child. But this is also coming back into the beautiful, natural, organic state of the child. I'm hearing young buck, buckle up, young buck, buckle up. And this is almost like, it's interesting because with the orphan here, I'm seeing the deer as Bambi. And in the story of Bambi, her mother was killed. Her mother was killed. And I don't understand fully because I don't remember Bambi. But I think it was nature. It's to remember that nature is what lifts us up. Because there's something about Bambi coming into an adult, and I'm seeing all the bunnies and everything. Remember Thumper? I don't remember Bambi, so forgive me, right? But it seems like it's almost like right now the energies are raising our child right now. And it feels weird, I'll say that. To have energies raise your child within is a very strange feeling, to trust that process, because it's not something you can, some of us don't fully see, and it might be strange to understand, but it's like there's a way to mature our child through softening, through forgiveness, and through releasing our pain. I know I'm one who normally would be like, yeah, duh. But there's something right now in the energies and with where I'm at to be like, oh, it's interesting that right now my own child is being reparented by light. By light. This is also too coming through with that whole message, is being mindful of influence right now. It might be getting in the way of your emotional expression. Maybe take some time to step away from others and find what your expression is, to find balance. Yeah, Mother of Wands. Mother of Wands, there's that snake coming in. Protecting, guarding the creation, guarding the child, guarding the magic. See the wand? Guarding the magic. Guarding the child's magic, protecting it, holding it, keeping it safe. Because it will come from this nest. This is letting me know that this is what is actually within these eggs right now. Is our, it's like, this energy right now is keeping our child safe so the orphan can hatch out of its shell to become this and this, to become the star again, the star child. Four of Wands, beautiful energy. That's the 1111. The Four of Wands is like, it's that celebration of coming home. It's that celebration of coming home back to you, back to source, back to your light. This is almost your portal showing up right now. And to trust right now that regardless of this energy and how dark it might feel, that you're probably a brighter light than you think you are right now. Mother of Swords and Ace of Swords. Wow. The Mother of Swords is talking about right now, guard your truth, hold your truth, be in your truth. But it's actually interesting, now that I'm seeing it with the Ace of Swords, I'm seeing this as drop this truth. It's like trade in your truth. Trade in your truth of the shadow for the truth of the light. The truth of darkness for the truth of the light. It's like the fall of one and the rise of another, almost an upgrading of truths. And the owl speaks to me of a watcher. Because the owl sees in the dark. Whenever I see about the owl, it's like it talks about being able to see in the dark, intuition, the psychic realms. And it's like there is going to be a moment in time where our sword is going to rise up. It's like almost, I don't know. This one's interesting. Because I'm noticing how the lines here are all parallel, running up and down. And it's like, I'm seeing this as a screen in the background and this sitting in front of the screen. And it's like the natural world's coming forward before this whole thing, before technology, before the illusion. And noting that nature, the truth of nature is not the illusion. the illusion, this is like almost coming through as acceptance. Like I feel like what's gonna ignite this is that once because I'm hearing the delusion. The illusion is the delusion that everything's okay. It's like being able to really deeply admit to yourself that things aren't okay. And that's how we right this wrong. That's how this sword comes upright. It's how this new truth prevails, is by being able to openly admit to ourselves that everything isn't okay. And that's actually in itself how we can be the brightest of lights in the darkest of days. Is that through facing ourselves, embodying our freedom of expression, embodying that liberation, seeing our shadow as a gift, we're able to really shift out this truth and rise up in this new eternal truth. It's like almost that the rainbow guild, I'm hearing the rainbow guild, the rainbow guardian within us prevails in the storm and in the darkest of times. This is that brightest of lights in the darkest of days, is standing in your truth, standing in your luminescence, standing in your power, standing in your power, knowing that another day will rise. It's guaranteed. The sun always rises in the morning. And this to me is very much so speaking of that this new beginning for our child, this new emotional welcoming in of our higher selves is going to start by us being able to see ourselves differently. That we're more than just borders, we're more than just walls, we're more than just fear, we're more than just torment, we're more than just destruction, we are more than chaos. We are more than the form. And I feel like that's how we illuminate this entire experience, is that we're more than the orphan. It exists within us. Yeah, we might have that neglect, but there's this like Hawkeye owl perspective coming through to really zoom out and go, you're so much more than that. Forgive your family. Forgive the government. Forgive the institutions. Forgive the fear. And remember who you are in your infinite presence. Don't see yourself as an illusion. See yourself as that vibrant star. See yourself beyond the pains and beyond the worry. Allow in healing. Clear the trauma bonds. Clear the waste out of your life. You're being born again. And you're being held. And it's almost like that which you might view as evil and as deceptive is actually the one thing that is caring for this part of you. It's like almost like, to me, this is like you're seeing the snake in an entirely wrong, you're not seeing the snake correctly. Your perspective is a little skewed, which is okay. And I'm not saying you're crazy, but it's like this is coming through like the mind. It's not about that you're crazy, but it's like you're seeing things in the wrong way and you're looping. So clear the loop. Come back to all that you are. Rest. Take care. That which you think is out to get you is actually the one thing that's helping you right now in your own life. And it's like your own shadow. It's like your shadow is not what you think it is. Like you've been getting it all wrong and now it's time to get it right. And this isn't for everyone. I'm going to say this for myself. And if this message resonates, please take it. But it's like, there's been a part of me that I've been going through. And actually, it's a really good time to bring out the Mystical Shaman Oracle. There's a part of me that I've been seeing all wrong. and it's a part of me that's very powerful. It's actually my shamanic aspect. It's my shapeshifter. And I feel like it's the one thing right now that is actually here to help you. And it's the one thing I resist the most, the one thing that I fear to have a part of me. And it's like, no, that's the one thing that's actually caring. But it's time to grow up beyond all this. It's interesting, I'm like, it's like time to grow up beyond the verses. Them versus me, me versus us, us versus them, me versus the world versus me, he versus we, she versus he. It's time to drop the verses and allow ourselves to come together and to care for one another. This Mother of Wands is very much so community based too. It's got 3 eggs underneath her. It's like she's caring for a whole group right now. She's caring for all of us. And I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing she's got the whole world in her hands. It's like there's this energy that's enveloping all of our children right now. That's actually, it's not what you think it is. I feel like a lot of people are trying to fight this thing off of them, when actually it's the thing that's standing guard right now and helping. So the question is, what is this to you? All right, so through this whole reading, it's almost like there's a perspective shift that's occurring. So then the question to you, dear ones, is what do you perceive as evil in the world and in your own life? I'd say in your own life. In your own life. That you can begin to view differently, including parts of yourself. Because we're coming into a unified focus. We're getting out of the duality of good, evil, black, white, dark, light, unified. So then that which you perceive as a threat, how is it actually your closest friend? So it's like, where do you keep making mountains out of molehills? Where do you keep running from yourself and running from others? Where do you keep guilting and shaming your shadow? And where aren't you allowing your shadow to be that beautiful rainbow reflection? Because it is about perspective. Because we don't want this thing to run rampant on ourselves and others' lives. And I feel like it just needs to be seen as that, as worthy of life, as worthy of light. And it's worthy of being here, to be in our lives. Including Kronos. Because, Saturn itself always represents control to me. And right when I saw it, I was like, wow, Saturn's bringing in liberation. It's bringing the polar opposite. Well, welcome to the new epoch, the new epic. Part of the new epoch is that we've got, things are different than they once were. Woo, boy. I'm hearing, is there such a thing as a high vibrational Saturn return? No, Saturn's going to transform you, period. I'm sorry, people. That was really funny. Is there such a thing as a high vibrational Saturn return? I don't think so. Saturn's there to shake you up. Jupiter's there to expand you. Pluto's there to transform you. All the energies are very transformative and expansive. That's the push-pull-tear. And then we've got this beautiful blue moon, which is actually glowing gold outside right now. I don't care what people say about the ozone layer. It looks gold, and that's beautiful to me. Well, I do care, because the ozone layer is important to me, but like, it glowing gold, it was just beautiful seeing it as gold. And the purple skies tonight, it was awesome. This to me is like also too coming through about protect your home, protect your heart. But not protect, it's like almost like, what is a better word, is like care. Care for your home and care for your heart. I like that better. Thank you. Care for your home and care for your heart. Care for your home and care for your heart. And what wants to come from this Mystical Shaman Oracle deck? I think it just wanted me to use this deck just to shuffle so I could stay distracted, because I'm kind of I am a starseed. I do have a little bit of that, you know, can't sit still syndrome. I'm very active, and sometimes I need things like a fidget spinner and cards to move so I can get something to focus on and allow the essence to come through, allow the messages to flow through. It's and I'm hearing to take your thinking cap off and wear your trust, wear your trust, wear your trust, wear your care, wear your truth. I think that's a big part of honoring through this liberation frequency, is be your expression, wear your truth, wear your truth, wear your care, wear your heart. Be the healer in your own life today by gifting yourself the opportunity to express yourself fully, to see your reflection or to see your shadow in a different light, right? But also to really take a moment to see who you are as the integrated self. Because this Mother of Cups is very much so the magic of the stars coming together with the star here, right? It's she's waving her hands and bringing all the stars together right now. Bringing all the stars together so they can see who they truly are as this miracle. As this miracle. And the thing is that it's interesting, I'm seeing this as an as above, so below. And I feel right now we need this because our children need to look up, take a moment to look up so they can see this for themselves too. I feel once we can see that, it's going to trickle downward, and our kids, our youth are going to be able to see that within themselves too, about the magic of what they are, the stars that they are. And we have to find that within ourselves. That's how we free this whole thing from occurring. It's through love. Through loving ourselves, we can learn to better love and care for our children. The more we learn to love and care for our own inner child, the better acquainted we can get. And I've also seen this happen other ways. I've seen mothers out there that care for their children so well, and then they take that and they begin to bounce that inward to their child. And it's almost it happens at the same time. As they care for their physical child, they care for their own inner child. And that's a beautiful thing. So then my question through all this is, what is your medicine? What is your medicine? What is your magic? Turn the page. What are your gifts? What are you here to bring to the world? Because now is the time for you to continually reclaim your sovereignty, to reclaim your autonomy, to claim your truth, whatever your truth is, whether it's to say no, it's to stand up and to rise up in that. But it's, what is your eternal truth? I like that. Woo, boy. What is your eternal truth? Don't fix on the limited truth. What is your infinite truth? Going back to that. What is your infinite truth? And stand in that infinite truth. It can be as simple as I am that I am, or we are that we are. We're all one. So for me, it's I am light and I am love. I am love. Light is love. So I am light, right? And not letting this truth get in the way of you rising into your truth. Don't let the eyes, right? Because this to me is now kind of coming through a little bit like, it's like nosy neighbors kind of a feeling. You know what I mean? Right? Nosy neighbors. It's, this isn't, now that I'm here, it's like, Let them watch us rise into the stars that we are. Let them watch and let them think that we're this, because we know that we're this. We know that we're the light. Let them perceive us as that. Let them keep trying to cut us down, because we rise up stronger every single time. But we have to say no more. We have to say no more. And we have to begin to care for our children better. Care for ourselves by saying no. I think the deepest form of care and respect that we can show right now to ourselves and to others and to humanity is by saying no. Over and over. Just say no. Just keep saying no more, no more, no more. Let the universe handle the rest. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do 4 more shuffles, 2, 3, and then we'll pick a card. Interesting. Second card from the bottom. What is it? The Earth Keeper. The Earth Keeper. The Earth Keeper. It's been known that these ones would rise. This is talking about the Rainbow Kids. They knew that this time would come for planet Earth. They knew that it was time for us to stand up for ourselves, to care for our kids, to care for our humanity, and to care for our world again. And as a result, it's like the Earth Keeper is coming through as this very ancient part of ourselves that's coming forward, knowing that we've been here so long. We've been here so long, and we've done this so many times before. We're gonna get it right this time, right? It's like, we've done this, guys. It's like a part of ourselves. It's like, guys, we know what to do. We know what to do. It lives inside of us. Like, you know, it's interesting. It's, to me, this is speaking of right now. So with the Mother Wands, like, it's like, you know, that mother instinct, right? Like if a child gets hurt or something like that, it just steps into action. I feel like that instinct is something that exists within all of us to know what to do in every now moment. And there's something that this ancestral DNA wants to bring through right now, because it's like coming forward as like a, guys gotta stop thinking about it. You know what to do. You know how to bring all of this together. Rainbows out there. Earth Keepers, Guardians, you know what to do. You know what you know what you came to do. You know what you need to do. Stop second guessing yourself. And it's like this like pep talk that's coming through. Let go of the trivial matters and rise up, kids. Rise up. Rise up. It's like, and this is what I want to say, you are the best of the best at what you do. You came here to become this. You came to be this. You agreed before this lifetime that you would come here and you would shift. So shift. And it's interesting because right now I hear, but Corey, how do we? And the answer I came through is, shh, trust. Trust the orchestration. Trust the wisdom keeper that is within you. Trust your intuition. Trust your universe. Trust your God. Trust your higher self, right? It's like there's something really deep built within you. Something very powerful. And you just have to gift it the opportunity to come forward. But in a moment's notice, you'll know what you need to do. And this isn't coming from the place of propagating fear or anything like that. So we want to make sure we're clearing that out of the field. But it's very coming forward as, when you're ready, you'll know. And this comes to creation, building, caring for people, solution-based businesses, your own business, your own purpose, right? When it's time, you will know. You gotta trust. You gotta trust yourself. You gotta trust that you came down here to go through all of these experiences with the collective, and you know what you're doing. And I feel like that's something that's almost like what we need to remind ourselves is, hey, I know what I'm doing here. I've got this under control. I've got this figured out. I'm handling this right now. I'm taking care of it. Do not worry. I'm not going to punish myself. I'm not going to blame other people. I am not going to be a victim. I signed up for this. And I know that I'm going to make it through this. Because this, Four of Wands, is a part of my journey. It has been written in the stars. Before this time, I knew that I got the clarion call that I'd come down and I was going to meet with all the other stars and we were going to glow up together. We were going to glow up and we were going to glow out. We were going to bring the rainbows forward. We were going to take care of what we needed to take care of. We knew that these days would come. We knew the days would get dark, and we knew that we were here to be that light, to be that living light by standing fully in our truth, by standing and being and breathing as light. That doesn't mean that we exalt or exile or fight or abandon or judge or neglect ourselves or neglect our responsibilities at this time. This is now coming forward as a, we made an agreement to get here and to do this. We're going to do it, guys. Ascension is on. Boy. Ascension is on. But what you have to let go of is everywhere you're still torturing yourself. You have to give up everywhere you're still torturing yourself. You got to let go of everything that didn't work out in your life. And let's see, star. You got to let go of everywhere you thought it wasn't, that all those things that didn't work out, all those plans that got abruptly disrupted or disconnected, and know that we're going to get it right this time. The pathway is smooth. The pathway is clear. Let people watch. Because they're going to watch us build. They're going to watch us build a beautiful world. They're going to watch us become resilient as... We already are resilient. We've been through the ringer. Boy, we've been through the ringer. And now if people are watching, let them watch us come forward now. And do what no one thought would be possible. And that's to sing the songs of freedom and to unite as the light together to serve Gaia and to serve the collective of humanity, so we all can become that which we choose to see in the world. The blade again. We got to cut out all of that pain. We got to take this, the blade now is like, we got to cut out the BS and focus now. It's time to focus. Because this part of you wants to awaken and it knows what it needs to get done. And a part of that is that there's a lot of stuff you need to cut out of your life. So now my question to you, dear one, is what do you need to let go of tonight? The blade's here. What do you need to cut out of your life? Is it toxic habits, habitual patterning? What have you been neglecting in your life that you need to get done? Because it's time to do that, and it's time to celebrate yourself. It's time to see yourself for who you truly are. to heal these things. It's time to get all the stars to come together and to fulfill what we were here to do. To bring this heaven onto earth. To care for our kids. To care for the sick. To care for the women and to care for the children. It's time for us to share the medicine. This is literally like, all right, walk out of old earth. Just walk out. Say, I give up. I'm done. Give up. Give up. Give up. Well, give up. Find your power. There's lightning again. It's time to step into action. Dust yourself off. After this full moon, get through everything. It's time for us to come together and to birth this new universe that exists within us, because we're ready. All right? So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Woo, boy. That reading was fun. I'm actually really glad I did that, right? So thank you all who subscribe, who watch, who share this content too. Please, if you feel like this message could help someone you know, please, by all means, share it. This isn't about popularity. It's about, you know, making sure we know we're not alone, making sure that we're all held in the field of love, that we're all held in the unified field of love, and that we can feel secure in our new foundations that are coming forward for all of us, but also that we can take care of one another. Regardless of what you did yesterday or who you are tomorrow, it's about knowing deep within. And this is like, because, you know, there's a lot of divide in the spiritual communities right now. There's a lot of divide amongst the collective. Gosh, some of us need to come together. And for myself, I'm kind of separated right now, but I did that by choice because I needed to I needed to clear some things out. Like that blade card, I needed to cut out some distractions in my life to focus. And so that doesn't always mean that you're playing in separation if you're doing it to unify with yourself, right? So let's cut out the judgment out of our lives and out of our own paths. And let's take a moment to celebrate the fact that we're here, that we have an opportunity to awaken, and we're gifted right now an opportunity to completely build a whole new everything from inside and without as well. And let's take that opportunity and run with it. All right? All right. I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. And I will see you guys in another moment of the now.